I've not been playing enough guitar recently, clearly, as I messed that up the first time. There's a lot of things I haven't been doing recently. As I've spoken about, I've not been writing. I've not been playing the guitar. I've not been putting myself out there enough. I've not been getting out the house enough to go and see more of Catania. But there are lots of things that I have been doing too much of. Scrolling Instagram, scrolling YouTube Shorts, constantly checking the views on everything I'm putting out there. Constantly. It's maddening. This is not why I did it. This is not why I decided to start making these daily videos. The point of making these daily videos was to keep me accountable and to be doing something every single day for my film career in Sicily. But that's not always happening. I've noticed it. Even yesterday. Yesterday I was talking about being a private school boy, and it did make sense to me at the time because it was reflecting on sharing reflections about my time in London and about my own sort of, my own privileged background. But I think I lost the focus there. I really did. I lost focus because I didn't do something yesterday that contributed towards my film career. And that's frustrating, but you take it as a lesson and you move on. Last night, from about the time of... So I watched the football went badly. Then from about 10 o'clock until 2 a.m, I was just on my phone. Just scrolling, watching stupid videos. There was a pattern of videos I used to watch that I've managed to get out of, but yesterday I relapsed into, which is about watching, like the downfall of YouTubers or the downfall of TikTokers and, people who rise and fall in the online space. And it's all very, very just like brain rotting stuff. And in that 4-hour time, I could have watched 2 movies. I could have watched something interesting. But it's interesting. But we have this. Well, I have this thing where I've lost the love of watching movies in the way I did when I was like 13 or 14. I remember, but before Instagram really took off, before TikTok and everything, when I was 13 years old, there was a Blockbuster Video at the bottom of my road. And I would go to my friend's house. So I'd turn the corner on my road and I'd walk down about 50 houses and my friend's house would be there. And then we walk down the road another 50 houses and there would be the Blockbuster Video. And it was Pizza Hut and Blockbuster next to each other. So what we would do is we'd go and order our Pizza Hut. This is when we were about 13, 14, go order our Pizza Hut, pepperoni and mushroom with stuffed crust or cheesy bites. Then we'd go into the Blockbuster and we just would find a movie. This was probably the summer of 2009, summer of 2010. There was that kind of era when we were a little bit more independent. And yeah, we would just pick a film and we befriended the people in the Blockbuster. It's a very, very happy time of my teenage years, for sure. Before things became more, in that age of teenagehood, before your friends start drinking, they start smoking, they start experimenting with all sorts of stuff, when they turn 14, 15, 16. So from the age like 12, 13, yeah, this was a great time. And so we'd go into the Blockbuster and there used to be 99p movies and there was like a whole shelf for them. And so we would go and get one of those and occasionally we would get a movie for £3.50 to rent. And it was just the best thing. I watched so many movies in that time. Just so many. And what I will say is that I watched lots of movies that now I would turn my nose at or, scoff. Like I wouldn't watch a movie like You Don't Mess with the Zohan or like an Adam Sandler movie. I wouldn't watch one of them now because it's like, well, that's not necessarily helping me with my film career or not helping me develop as a filmmaker. But then I always think of Christopher Nolan saying one of his favourite films was Talladega Nights with Will Ferrell. And yeah, I just think there's something interesting. So, but now I was just doom scrolling TikTok and Instagram last night to no end. It just didn't make, I was not sleeping, and I was stressed about views and all that sort of stuff. And yeah. But then I had a really good conversation with a friend yesterday who's also, you know, a filmmaker and trying to do YouTube, and he was saying, giving me some suggestions of places I can reach out to. Because, you know, ultimately, I have this big goal. Film director, scripted scripted films. I'm thinking in this content sort of world. Scripted films, working with actors. And he was suggesting like, oh, but you have to make money, right? So he was saying, why don't you reach out to the Catania FC team and see if you can do some videography for them. He's also the one that suggested I start shooting more on my Sony. And he's right, really. We got this camera, and so I got to use it, really. I wanted to use it more for short films, but I'll use it for this as well. It's a workhorse camera. This is a camera to get me doing lots of different things. So, yeah. I think also a factor that's gone into this is I've just been alone these last couple of days. And I've come to realize that I don't have any friends here. I mean, I knew that already. But I remember when I lived, you know, abroad in Macedonia, I would walk into the city centre, which is about 3 kilometers, and I would just go and be there and just go and try and bravely have a coffee somewhere or get food somewhere, or through the community there I met, the community where I was at this NGO, which were all people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. So there weren't any young people. And they met someone on the street outside the NGO, and then I met him, this guy, and then he introduced me to this amazing cafe called Bukva. And that's where I made some friends. And this was about almost a year in. And I remember going for my first coffee at Bukva with this guy, Blagoja. Really nice, really sweet guy. I remember having a coffee there, and I remember I still didn't know how the public transport worked, and it got to about midnight, and I hadn't eaten any dinner. So I walked home, and I was walking down, I don't remember the name of the street, but I walked down, wasn't 100% sure where to go. And I wasn't 100% sure where to go. I can't remember if my phone was working at that point or not. I was just really hungry. And I went into this kebab shop, which was totally empty. And I somehow ordered, I knew the word pileshk, or pileshko meant chicken. So I got chicken. And for a moment I thought, should I take it away? And I thought, no, why don't I just sit down? And so I sat down at around midnight in this kebab shop on my own in Macedonia and was just eating a kebab. And I was like, what is going on? What is going on with my life? But I was putting myself out there, and I didn't become friends with the kebab guy, but that night I made some new contacts. And I feel like I'm not allowing myself to have those. But it also doesn't have to be that hard, because I've got my wife, and we can go and meet people together. Finally, I think this week I'm going to meet this actor that I've been speaking about. And that will be the first step towards a friendship. Yeah. In about half an hour I need to leave to go and get Gloria from the airport. She's finally coming back from Naples. I'll have my wife back, I'll have my focus back, and perhaps she'll help me to be more focused. And even in this vlog now, I'm telling you a story about the kebab shop. But there's many stories I have about that time. Yeah. A film that I put out yesterday on my channel, which I think got a huge amount of views. It got 2 views. It was called I Would Love to Be Your Friend, and it was a very interesting film to make at the time. I remember I wrote 3 drafts of the script before we shot it. And that's not enough, definitely not enough. And when I look at that film, I think, if only I'd done 1 or 2 more drafts, I think it would have been better. But, yeah, just before we shot it, in London Fields area of London. There was the biggest snowstorm in years in London, like really thick snow, and so we shot that film in the snow outside. It was about -2, and everyone was like, "Oh, cold." I remember the boom. My friend Oliver, the boom op, he was like shivering as he was doing the boom. And we would shoot from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. for 2 days, and then one more day on the like in someone's house at the end, in Harry's house. And it was just it was what a great time. And the film turned out okay, and I managed to get an actress from Germany to do it for free because she just arrived in London, and she was. She was really cool. It's probably one of the first times in a while I'd worked with an actor in one of my UK films that I didn't know already. So that was really cool. That was a really cool experience. She was really nice, and she really promoted the film when it came out, and she was happy with it. And Marie Noël. Yeah. But that was, it was an interesting film at the time. We shot it on a Blackmagic, which was the first time I'd done that. First film I'd made with my friend Kian. First of 3 films we made, actually. There's another one I need to edit still. But it's good. It was always good just to shoot something. I'm at my happiest and my most content and my most purposeful when I'm shooting a short film. And lots of people don't like to shoot short films very often. I have friends who hasn't made, a director friend who hasn't made a short film in 4 years, I think, almost. But he still calls himself a director, and that's cool. Like, I totally get it. He's waiting for the opportunity to do something more significant. He doesn't want to do the shorts. He's also a friend that went to film school, and he doesn't want to do he doesn't want to do like kind of micro shorts and test things out. He wants to just wait till he has the budget to do a proper one. And I get it. It's a different approach to me, but I get it. Because it is more satisfying to do something when you have the full crew, and it's a lot harder to do with a smaller crew. But I think the nature of my circumstances has meant I can't really wait around. I've just got to do stuff. Oh my God, the Alexa. That's scary. The Alexa just starts talking. Yeah, anyway. I've got to put myself out there more. What's interesting though is on TikTok, that TikTok I put out about a week ago suddenly got loads of views in the last 24 hours. It got like 1,500 views, and it's taken itself up to like 3,000 something. It's the most views I've ever had in a reel anywhere. But yeah, this started with me playing guitar, and I'll play a little bit more. Oh, it's a bit out of tune. See, I'm really out of practice. I'm not playing enough. It's not time to make a change. Just relax, take it easy. You're still young, that's your fault. There's so much you have to know. Find a girl, settle down. If you want, you can marry. Look at me, I am old, but I'm happy. I was once like you are now, and I know that it's not easy to become when you found something going on. But take your time, think a lot, think of everything you've got, for you will still be there tomorrow, but your dreams may not. How can I try to explain? When I do, he turns away again. It's always been the same old story. From the moment I could talk, I was ordered to listen. Now there's a way, and I know that I have to go away. I know I have to go.
What is this called?
Sfogliatella.
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 What?
Sfogliatella.
Sfogliatella. Is that Nutella? No.
No, it's a chocolate cream.
Wow. Good Lord. What's the other thing? Have you already eaten it though? Here.
This is sfogliatella too. This is riccia, this is liscia. Like the
Nice to
normal
meet you, Richa and Lisha.